This is now too bright. Ladies and gentlemen of the press, our political programs continue. This has been a meeting with members of the Bagusi community to review the state of affairs in our country after the last elections. Like people from other counties who have come here or whom we have visited, the Bagusi know their votes were stolen in the August and that Uhuru and Ruto have zero support in that county, those two counties. Looking at the landscape, we are agreed that hard times await our country in the days and years ahead, both in terms of the economy and protection of fundamental freedoms and liberties. We are agreed that only credible elections will bring stability to our country and help our economy grow. Sham elections will do the exact opposite, sinking us deeper into deeper poverty and taking us back to the era of authoritarian rules whose telltale signs are already around us. We have struggled and sacrificed for democracy and good governance before, and we are agreed that there must be no turning back. It is important that we stand with and protect institutions that are standing up for the country in line with our Constitution. Our Supreme Court in particular, and the judiciary in general, is one of those institutions that has tried to execute its mandate and spelled out in our Constitution. They need protection. What we have seen, however, is Jubilee's vilification of institutions and individual officers that have done their duties while defending those who have failed. Jubilee has gone ahead to use the Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission and the Directorate of Criminal Investigations to investigate the Registrar of the Supreme Court, Esa Nyaiyaki, whose crime was to deliver a scrutiny report of election results ordered by the court. But the same Jubilee is standing with the people like Ezra Chiloba and IEBC that committed irregularities and illegalities in the elections. This trend has to stop, but it will not stop on its own. We must stop it. Do not be cheated that NASA has some agreement with IEBC and that there is some progress that we are party to. We have no such agreement, and our faith in IEBC remains zero, which is why our political action plan must continue. NASA respects the independence of our institutions, but are opposed to protecting and defending institutions that have been manipulated into failing that nation and sweeping their culpability under the rug, vouching for their capacity to conduct elections simply because we have funded them. That is not how nations build strong institutions. That is how to water impunity and bring down a nation. IEBC has failed spectacularly on the 8th. That is not in doubt. Should we then be vouching for the IEBC or demanding value for money audit? We have agreed here that we must continue championing a fair and just cause aimed only at defending our Constitution and strengthening our hard-won democracy. We have agreed to mobilize men and women who mean well for Kenya to stand up against impunity and demand uchaguzi bora, not bora uchaguzi. To this end, we have agreed that we continue with peaceful protests which is a fundamental constitutional right of every Kenyan. We reject attempts to imply that NASA's decision to hold peaceful demonstrations are acts of violence. No. Those protests shall therefore continue across the country every Monday and Friday in accordance with the law. It is self-evident that the police have been systematically and consistently trigger-happy against unarmed peaceful NASA supporters and have unleashed brutal force against innocent civilians, including young university students. We call on all people of goodwill to condemn the police brutality and stand by Kenyans exercising their constitutional right to assemble, picket, and demonstrate. That a band of hooligans in the name of police officers can have the impudence to walk into the halls of residence of our students, stripping some of them naked, bludgeoning them, beating some of them senseless, is an act that must be condemned in the strongest terms possible by every right-thinking Kenyan. In the end, it is all up to the Kenyan people to determine the fate and the future of our country. Let us all stand up and restore our country to the best of our ability. All nations are shaped by citizens standing for what they want. That is what we must do here beginning this Friday. We must take back our country from thugs and hooligans. End of statement. Tumekuwa na viongozi kutoka kwa jamii ya Bagusi ambaye wametutembelea siku ya leo. Mmejua kuna viongozi wengine ambaye walienda Ikulu, lakini hata wale ambao walienda Ikulu wengi wao ni wafuasi wetu. Hao viongozi wa Bagusi wameongea na wamesema ati wako na imani na chama chetu ya NASA na watahakikisha kwamba Gusii yote, jamii ya Gusii ambayo wako Kisii, Nyamira County, Nakuru, Trans Nzoia, Nairobi, Mombasa, kila mahali Kenya mzima watapiga kura kwa debe moja ya NASA. Wametuhakikishia ati wale ambao wamekuwa wakipelekwa kule Ikulu, wale ambao wanaenda kule kwa na tumbo yao, lakini hawakilishi jamii ya Bagusi. Kwa hivyo wamesema watajiunga pamoja na Wakenya wengine kupiga kura kwa fujo ili NASA iweze kupata na ushindi mkubwa. Vile vile wamesema wanataka kuona kama kuna uchaguzi bora inafanyika, sio bora uchaguzi. Wamesema wanaunga mkono wito ya kuhakikisha kwamba wale wezi ambayo walishiriki kwenye wizi ya kura tarehe 8 mwezi Agosti wamechukuliwa hatua ya kisheria, na ile tume ya uchaguzi imesafishwa ili wale ambao watapewa jukumu ya kusimamia uchaguzi ujao ni wale ambaye hawajapatikana na hatia yoyote. Vile vile wametoa pongezi kwa mahakama wetu kwa kusimamia ukweli, kuangalia ile ushahidi ambayo ilitolewa mbele yao na kuamua ya kwamba uchaguzi iliibiwa na wale ambao ilitangazwa mshindi hakushinda uchaguzi. Sisi vile hao viongozi wamelaani vikali vitendo vya kinyama ambayo ilifanywa na polisi wa taifa letu, wale ambao wanaweza kuita majambazi ambayo walivamia kituo kikuu cha mafunzo ya Nairobi na kwenda mpaka kwa mabweni pale ambayo wanafunzi wanakoishi na kupiga wanafunzi kinyama, kusababisha majeraha ambayo ilikuwa hazina kifani. Hiyo ni vitendo imelaaniwa vikali na hawa viongozi wamekuja hapa. Wamesema hawa viongozi, hawa majambazi ambao wanajiita polisi, ambao walienda katika mabweni ya wanafunzi, wachukuliwe hatua ya kisheria. Wamesema yale kitendo ambayo walifanya ni kitendo ya unyama na ya kishetani. Wamesema shetani ashindwe. Shetani ashindwe. Mungu ibariki Kenya. You see, our representative, Mr. James Orengo, summarized the outcome of those discussions that we held with the IEBC yesterday. And he was very clear. He said nothing is agreed until it is totally agreed. There is no agreement between us and IEBC. As you know, we had presented to IEBC a very concise document outlining what went wrong and what we want to see rectified before we go for these repeat elections. What we call irreducible minimums that we wanted IEBC to implement. They gave us a matrix which did not respond to a number of those fundamental issues that we have raised in our document. So therefore, there is still a big gap between us and the IEBC. We told them to close that gap. They are still unable to close that gap. So Jubilee will say that they have no problem with the IEBC because you know that IEBC declared them the winner. So Jubilee was not a complainant. Complainant was us, and we are the ones who have discovered the irregularities and illegalities which were also discovered by the court, on the basis of which the court nullified the elections. So don't say Jubilee is not complaining. Jubilee cannot complain. If you leave the ground as it was last time, that is what they want. We are not going to agree to go back to use, unless changes are made. We cannot expect us to do, you cannot expect us to do the same thing the same way and expect a different result. So Jubilee is saying, we have come here, we will now come back on the 27th for the certificate. You see, we are not trying to take Jubilee to the altar so that we can go and then cheer that they have gotten married. We are not going to do that to Jubilee. So we will ask IEBC to do a soul searching. Please address yourself to specific issues raised in our document, which is titled Irreducible Minimums, so that we can then work much together. Kenyans will not just want any other election, just an election. We want an election which is free, fair, transparent, and accountable. Not just me. That's why we are talking about uchaguzi bora. Sio bora uchaguzi. Thank you very much.
Also, one more question. The Jubilee Party has said that it is not going to withdraw the amendments to the election laws and the election offences act. And the Deputy President say if NASA wants anything changed or amended, then you should send your MPs there to go and do that. What is your argument?
We really do not want to follow Jubilee into their madness. Those people who belong to Madari Correctional Institution. So we don't want to talk to them about those. Okay? Thank you very much.
Good answer, sir. Good answer, you accept.